Hi, my name is Pranav Mahesh, and I'm currently a high school senior at the School of North Carolina School of Science and Math, who plans to continue studying technology, particularly computer engineering, in college. The technology area that I feel is closest to me, especially in computer engineering, is AI, especially when it's used through mobile apps to help people connect in a direct and everyday sort of way. And one of the biggest experiences that shaped how I think about technology started during a hackathon. The prompt was about creating a solution that would help people with disabilities overcome barriers. And a lot of hackathon prompts kind of felt broad to me at this point, but this one immediately felt personal to me. I started thinking about my grandmother back home. For most of her life, she would always say that she just wasn't a reader, but that was just how everyone else understood it. For more recently, we realized that she'd been likely living with undiagnosed dyslexia for most of her life. And once I started thinking about that, a lot of things clicked for me. I remember watching her spend a long time looking at labels or written instructions, especially when the text was dense or unfamiliar. This made me ask a simple yet intriguing question. Could I build something for her that would actually help her in the long run? So I started learning more about dyslexia. I read about how it affects reading and processing, but I also wanted to understand what existing tools were actually like for a real person using them. I tried different open source tools such as screen readers, font changers, and reading aids, and I went through them one by one with my grandmother iteratively. And honestly, this was one of the most eye opening parts of this entire project. Some tools helped a little, but most of them felt clunky. Some were hard to navigate. Some only worked in English, which was a huge problem for my grandmother as a native Kannada speaker. This was not the moment that I realized that accessibility is not only about the disability itself, it's also about the language, it's about the context, it's about whether the tool actually fits the person using it. And that's really what led me to build the app Dyslexic Assist. Now, Dyslexic Assist is an AI powered mobile app which is designed to make text easier to read. The app takes the text from the image, reformats it based on the user's needs, adjusts readability, and can also read the text out loud for the user if needed. And one of the hardest parts was to get the Kannada text to render correctly. At first, I kept failing because of the Unicode mismatches, so I had to spend a lot of my time debugging font encodings to figure out what the characters were actually being processed into. It was one of the most frustrating things of the project, but also taught me something a lot more important. It taught me that inclusivity is usually not one big feature, it's a lot of these small micro decisions that determine whether someone can actually use the exact product or tool that you made. And the moment that stayed with me the most was when I finally got the Kannada working properly. My grandmother was finally able to read the translated text in her own language more comfortably and at her own pace. And honestly, that meant a lot more to me than the hackathon result itself. We did win, which was exciting, but what stayed more with me was actually seeing her enjoy reading in a way that had been difficult for most of her life, if not all. And that project is one of the biggest reasons I feel so connected to AI and mobile technology as of today. Of course, I benefited by learning about the technical aspects and skill sets. I learned more about OCR, speech models, app development, and multilingual support. But more than that, I benefited in the way I think. It changed how I see technology. Before the project, I saw mostly AI and mobile development as exciting technical areas. But after it, I started seeing them as tools that can reduce the gap between a person and the information that they are trying to reach. And that shift really matters to me today. It's something that I want to take into college with me and practice on that skill set every single day. As I continue my education, I want to keep using AI and mobile technology in two big ways. First off, I want to keep building. Working on Dyslexic Assist showed me how much I really enjoy creating technology that actually begins with people instead of just different features that are in a list. In college, I want to study machine learning much more deeply and continue growing as a mobile developer so I can build tools that feel natural and useful, especially to the people whose needs are so often overlooked. Second, I want these technologies to shape how I learn. AI has already made learning so much easier and active for me. It helps me ask better questions, explore idea faster, go from curiosity to experimentation in a matter of hours, if not minutes. And I want to keep using that way in college. Not as a shortcut, but as something that helps me think more deeply and engage more seriously with what I'm aiming to learn. What excites me the most is the connection between learning something and actually building something for it and from it. Mobile technology makes that possible in a really direct way. An idea doesn't have to stay in your notes or on your laptop. It can turn into something real that another person can use in their daily lives. And this is the kind of work that I want my education to prepare me for. This type of experience also made me care a lot more about accessibility. I have seen how easy it is for design to quietly exclude people without anyone even noticing. I'm going to keep exploring how AI can be used to build tools that respond to individual needs instead of just forcing someone into the same experience that my grandmother had to go through. But more than anything, this project gave me the direction. It showed me that education is not just about learning how technology works, it's also about deciding what kind of problems are worth solving and who you want to build those problems, those solutions tailored for. Going forward, I want to keep building technology that makes knowledge feel closer, easier to access, and less intimidating. And which is why AI and mobile development matter so much to me. And that is why I want to keep using them as I move forward in my education. Thank you so much.